Alright, I just want to preference this voiceover video, whatever I end up deciding to label it or do with it, should have been done a very long time ago. This is kind of, I guess, just going to be an update on the current standing of Loteplex, the channel, Patreon, Twitter, basically the entirety of Loteplex, as well as the content creators behind it. So me and my partner Chris. I guess just for a little background, the entire Loteplex channel setup, editing, all that stuff is at my current living spaces. I do all the editing, uploading, like I do all of that, and then Chris is he's the partner in the channel, so he does the gaming as well as some of the commentary. But I guess kind of just to dive right into it, I haven't had motivation or feelings of stability in my life for about 3 years now, in relation to pretty much anything, not necessarily just uploading on the channel, but like life in general. A lot of stuff has happened over the last 3 years. They've definitely been the most challenging of my entire life. I've experienced deaths, as well as betrayal, falling out, at least in relationships and friendships, struggled with financial, physical injuries. It's just been a really tough 3 years, and as a result, I was diagnosed with chronic depressive disorder, with episodes, but without psychosis. So essentially, I am prone to episodes of extreme chronic depression, and the primary onset of those episodes is negative nostalgia depression. So essentially, I'm not sure what the scientific term, I don't really remember what it is, but nostalgia, the feeling you get when you are remembered of something, when you were growing up or something along those lines. People feel like positive, like, oh, like I remember when I used to watch that TV show and stuff like that. I don't experience that. I experience the opposite. So I only experience negative emotions, feelings from nostalgia. So like feelings of angst, feelings of despair, loss, regret, all the fun stuff. It's just been really difficult, and I really don't want this to come across as kind of like a pity party, like, oh, let's all boohoo for Keenan. That's not really what this is about. This just needs to get out there, because there's a lot of backstory behind Loteplex that I feel like now that we are getting back to where we were, averaging about 2,000 views per video now. Really appreciate all the people who are sticking around. It means a lot. But this kind of gives you some well-needed backstory behind the 3-year break, or roughly 3-year break that happened between May of 2021 and February of 2024, which is when we came back to Scott Pilgrim. So I will talk about it. I'll go more in depth at some point, probably through some longer episodes that we decide to do. But I guess kind of to dive right back into it. The original series that started our channel, so Kingdom Hearts 3, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Aragorn's Quest, I guess, to a lesser degree, they're nearly completed. But there's only several episodes of each on the channel, which is odd. I know, from the viewer, you're like, what's going on? Like, where's the rest of the series? Kingdom Hearts 3 we're still recording, and I'm trying to get motivation to edit and upload more Kingdom Hearts 3 episodes. Aragorn's Quest will be coming back. Shadow the Hedgehog will be discontinued, however. It just got to the point where there was so much footage lost. I guess I can kind of talk about that too. So the original channel recordings were done on the Elgato HD60S, which came out back in like 2017, I think, or 18. And that worked really well for probably the first year or so. And then it kind of started to have issues with recording game audio. So the game would record, but there would be no game audio. So we had to go back and record countless episodes. A lot of lost footage, just really wasn't worth it, you know. So I upgraded to the HD60 Pro, which is basically the direct interface that is plugged directly into the motherboard on your computer, and you record directly. And so there's like very little latency. The recording, it's better or whatever. And that worked extremely well up until this past February. I feel like just the inactivity and being switched, because we used to record everything on an old HP pre-built that I bought from Staples a very long time ago, back in like 2020. And in 2021 and 22, I actually built my own from the ground up. So everything, like all the parts for like fully, nothing was done. I built it from scratch. And so popping, I feel like going back and forth, because I still had other stuff on the old computer that I was editing, so I had to constantly pop the capture card back and forth between computers, and I just feel like that probably is what ended up killing it, because it ended up just losing like 90% of the footage we recorded on it. So I upgraded to the brand new, literally like 2 months ago, it came out, the new 4K Pro from Elgato, which is the best capture card they have, and I've been having some issues with that, but I have it under control now, so we should be good going forward. But anyway, I would like to point out that we lost so much Shadow the Hedgehog footage that all you guys see is all we have. So I uploaded everything that we had, and we just kept losing footage, and the game just ended up getting so difficult at the end that it just really wasn't worth it. We weren't really enjoying ourselves, and that's kind of what we want the channel to remain, because, you know, even though we're really close to monetization and taking off, sure, that's a goal, but at the end of the day, I still want to just... the funness of it needs to remain the central part of the channel. It just has to, otherwise what's the point? Then it just becomes a job, you know, and I don't ever want it to feel like that. With that being said, we also, in the midst of Before Shadow, actually, this is back in, October of 2020, we attempted, this is when I knew I needed to get a new capture card, we tried to record Sonic Unleashed by Chris on the Wii, and we got, I think, 25% through the game, and all the footage was corrupted. All of it. We lost probably 8 to 10 hours of the footage. Arguably one of the funniest series we had ever done, and it was just really hard. But then we switched to Shadow, and I guess the rest is history since then. But if you fast forward to the Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff, we've had to re-record entire worlds. So the current recording that me and Chris were doing was re-going through Toy Box, which is the second or third world, depending on your point of view, of Kingdom Hearts 3. We played all the way through in one day. And I still have the recordings of it, but I'll get to, the reason why I really haven't been uploading those. We played through all of Toy Box and all of Corona in one night. And all of the Toy Box footage got corrupted, with the exception, or lost, I should say. Because the audio corrupts it, so you can see the game, but you can't hear any of our commentary or the game audio, so it's like, what's the point, right? So, we had to re-record Toy Box and those episodes will be getting uploaded, as will the old Corona stuff, because we could re-record it. The Corona episodes are going to be kind of lesser quality than what you guys should be expecting, but I do want to point out that it's way funnier, and I really don't want to like not show you guys that footage, just because me and Chris had such a great time doing it that I feel like it wouldn't be fair to us or our subscribers and fans to not watch it, you know. With that being said, then we switched to Super Mario Galaxy 2, and I will get to, again, why these aren't uploaded. So, there's only 4 episodes of Mario Galaxy on the channel, and me and Chris played halfway through the game. We got to halfway through World 3, and there's only 6 worlds in the game if you don't play the bonus world. And then Aragorn's Quest, we played through half the game. The second level, Rivendell, is actually being not edited or uploaded. It's being rendered right now. So that will go up later today. And I'll probably put this up today or tomorrow as well. But that is coming back. And we will finish that game because we were halfway through it. So, yeah. But anyway, the real ultimate reason, to be quite honest with you, why it's been so difficult to upload these series and these videos isn't, just the lack of motivation to sit down and edit, for 2 to 3 hours for 1 or 2 videos, which is about how long it takes, because I do put a lot of time into remastering the audio and the video, as well as doing the intros and the outros. Everything's done by scratch, every video. I don't really have a plug-and-play system in place just yet. I was dating someone for about 8 years. I'm not going to say full names, but I've mentioned on the channel before, and you've heard on the channel before, Miss Destiny. I met her at church in 2013, and started dating her in 2015 in August. And that went, I knew her for 8 years, we dated for 6. Through 2021 in August. August 21st, 2021, may the day forever live in infamy. A lot of the conversations that me and Chris had in Super Mario Galaxy 2, in Kingdom Hearts 3, was involving her. And I thought this girl was going to be my wife. I still have it because it has her initials, so who the fuck am I going to give it to? But, I had a ring, I had a date planned that I was going to ask. I genuinely thought, this was it. This was the one. I thought I lucked out. Because, while as my friends and my peers were jumping from relationship, not finding the right person, being brokenhearted, I thought, I had found I thought I was the outlier. I found the right one. Life was good. I had plenty of money. I had a loving who I thought was going to be wife. I had really good friends. I really enjoyed where I was working. Life was just good. The channel was taking off. Life was just good. This is again, March, April, May 21. And then she left. And I didn't even get an in-person dumping. I got it over the phone. So I digress. I haven't spoken to her in over 2 years now. Probably will never speak to her again. We didn't exactly leave on good terms. It's always messy when one person quote-unquote falls out of love and uses a cliche to break up with you, but I digress. It's difficult to go back and edit those episodes because she's so involved. And I understand the relationship ended almost 3 years ago, and she's been married with whoever the dick is for a couple years now, almost 2 years now. How ironic this song splits to "You Think You're So Self-Righteous." Anyway. I've had to go to therapy. When I got dumped in August, it like catastrophically ruined my life going forward. Because I had never dealt with that type of loss before. Because it genuinely felt like a divorce. Because I had known her for literally almost half my life at that point. But when she left, I didn't know how to deal with it, and I fell into an insane depression and was numb for nearly 3 months. And then to help through it, I delved into a creative outlet that I had never had before, which was music. I found that I was incredibly talented and multi-instrumentalist, so I knew how to play. I grew up playing brass in bands, so trumpet, cornet, French horn, that sort of thing. And then I picked up the guitar when I was 13, started playing that, and then didn't touch it again for like 6 years, and then came back to it. And also picked up drums, keyboard, bass, and I did vocals and recorded an album called Apathy. Between November of 2021 and June of 2022. It has never been posted. It sits on my computer, and to be honest, kind of serves as a constant, not necessarily a constant reminder, but serves as a reminder of that struggle. But financially put me in a tough spot too, because like building a studio from scratch, including the one that we record in now, there's roughly $15,000 worth of equipment here. I'm talking like high-end mixers. The microphones that we use are relatively high-end. They just need better mixing, which I'm trying to get, because the stuff I have now wasn't the stuff we were using back then, you know. But you know, full professional grade monitors or speakers, to those of you who don't know. I upgraded the monitor setup. The whole room is soundproofed. And then all the instruments were pretty expensive too. The computer was pricey, desks, setups. There's roughly $15,000 worth of equipment, not including the instruments, but I digress. And I took out a nasty loan that gets paid off next year, thank God. So I just have one more year, I guess, struggle financially until January, and then everything gets better and easy. Thank you, Jesus. But I didn't know how to deal with that loss, and I never healed from it. That scar remains, because there's such a deep-seated, and I know God doesn't, want us to live like angry, but there's such a deep wound there, that I've just never been able to address. There was zero closure. I had to get my own closure. Obviously, like, she wouldn't have left without reason, and I definitely wasn't the greatest boyfriend. Like 3 months leading up to the breakup. But instead of communicating about what was wrong, like if I was saying something she didn't like or doing something she didn't approve of or whatever, she didn't necessarily talk about it. There was no communication. So I didn't know what I was saying or what I was doing was bothering her. And it really wasn't anything like outlandish. Like, it wasn't like I was going around cheating on people and whatnot, or cheating on her with other people or whatnot. I was just spending too much time focusing on the channel with my friend that I kind of like didn't spend enough time with her. And she told me that was the main reason after the fact. But anyway. So that kind of sums up like why, the different parts of the channel have been uploaded in the episodes and stuff like that. Just because it's so painful to go back and go through those episodes and have to listen to the conversations where I'm just like, you can just tell from the tone, the words I'm using, how I'm talking about her, just how in love I am. And it's really difficult now to have to go back and re-listen to that again, because it brings up that bad nostalgia that I was talking about. Plus, it's not necessarily fair to her because she's been married, and like I don't want that to stir up any drama in her life because I'm not vengeful. So like, sure, I definitely got stabbed in the back and screwed over, and she cataclysmically, and I don't like pointing the finger. I will take responsibility for my actions. Like I said, it was sure, it was my fault ultimately that she left, but if it had been less messy, it would not have caused such a cataclysmic ripple effect in my life that would still be negatively affecting me 3 years later. And sure, that's also, I guess, my fault, but I've gone to therapy, I've taken medication, I've gone to the gym, got healthy, got in shape, and like nothing was helping. I saw therapy from my church, prayed, I talked to God every day, like nothing helped. And I just kind of had to learn to live with that wound and that scar, and like I said, I really personally don't feel like I ever really healed from it. It's definitely not something that I take into the next relationship with me, because I've had one relationship since then, which was also very messy and caused a lot of mental damage. I just have a tendency to love and trust too easily, evidently, and I get my heart broken quite a bit, because my expectation for love apparently in this world is too high or whatever. But I guess in relation to the channel, that's the main reason why you haven't really seen the ending of our series or like all the episodes and whatnot, just because there's just so much pain there that it's impossible to get through like even the first 15 to 20 minutes per episode. Not that they're all that long, but especially Super Mario Galaxy 2, towards the end of the second world, I tell the story about my very first relationship with Sydney and how rough and gross that was, and then I was talking about like how I had found the one, and then she came in and we talked. Chris was here too, but she's present in like 4 episodes, and it's not like I can just post all these episodes and then cut 2 hours of footage and then be like, what the hell happened, So, yeah. And then there's a movie that I started that me and Chris recorded. It's not really has a working title yet, but essentially it is like the last roughly 30 to 40% of the Super Smash Bros. Subspace and Mystery. I put to date like 400 to 500 hours worth of editing into that from scratch. The first 50 seconds are posted on YouTube currently, but I had like the first hour, it's roughly 3 hours. It included an opening credits, end credits, fully like everything. I sent headshots to people, and they made me and Chris and anime characters. Like we recorded at a park, like an intro. We had sponsors. I had licensing from Nintendo. It was a really big deal. And it's on my old PC, and I need an additional processor for that. Because the one that I ordered that got sent to me doesn't work, so that's great. And I could just rip the processor out of my current computer and put it into that one, but like shoot, then I have to, like, anytime we want to record or do anything, I have to switch it back and forth, and it just would be a massive waste of time. So I need an i5 8400 It's a 8th gen Intel processor. If anyone listening knows what that is and has an extra one, or would be so kind as to send us one, that would be amazing. If not, no worries. I'll be able to afford it at some point. But that movie means a lot. There's a lot of backstory with that recording session. I was also in 2021. So it's just tough, man. Like, mental health is tough. Because it doesn't just affect your personal life and your work life, but it also affects, like, your desires and your hobbies and, you know, how you see yourself. And, like, I have abysmal self-esteem, if I have any at all. I'm incredibly difficult on myself, the hardest critic. I feel like I'm not worth anything. And that's from, you know, being left by everyone. You know, shout out Chris, man. I mean, I really don't know where I would be without you, man. He's been by my side through all of it, including the loss of my old best friend. I really don't want to get into that story, but he's been through the loss of 2 relationships, loss of a friendship, loss of family members. He's been through a lot, you know. When everyone else has left, he's remained. Dang, I promised myself I wouldn't get all teary, but he means a lot to me. I'm very honored that he's a part of this channel, for sure. Kind of annoying sometimes, but so am I. But he's a really good guy. Okay. I really don't know where else to go from here now that I took a really weird detour from talking about the channel, but it's just been really difficult, I guess, in a nutshell, mentally. And I really want this year to be different and 2025 to be the best year ever, because it's been 3 years of bullshit, and quite candidly, I'm fucking done with it. So, yeah. I'm not even really sure if I'll post this, or if I do post it, I'm not really sure how long I'll leave it up for, if I decide to do that at all, but I just gotta continue to keep my head high, you know? Every day is a new day, every day is a new chance to do something. You know, I've learned that I have to dig myself out because no one else will. We shouldn't expect other people to always have our backs, because this world is cruel and full of lies, and people will backstab you and steal from you because they can. So we're just gonna keep grinding. I got a bunch of ideas this year. No motivation yet, but there's a bunch of ideas, which is a good start. There's a bunch of projects that I really want to do that I'm trying to find the time and the money to undertake. Keep my head up, keep me busy, keep me mentally on the right track, you know. So, I guess, not really gonna ask you to like, but if you could subscribe and stick around, that'd be pretty cool. Make sure there's nothing really on any of our socials. I have to go and re-find all the passwords and everything. But hit us up on Patreon. Our membership is free now. There's a subscription if you want better content or if you want more access to more things. That's available for you should you desire to do that. But keep a lookout for new stuff coming. We got some new series coming to the channel. We got Scott Pilgrim's completed. You'll see those episodes come out pretty soon. Those also are going to be a little weird because there's some skipping, some weird cuts and whatnot, but those will be uploaded pretty soon here, once I get the motivation to do it. We got Sonic Forces coming to the channel. Really funny series. I also learned today that me and Chris, so we started doing Avengers, the game, and we played through like the first hour or so, and the wonderful Elgato didn't even decide to record the fucking footage, so there's that. But Avengers will be coming hopefully at some point too. Titanfall 2 will be continued to be uploaded. Me and Chris will probably have to go back and replay the original level, the first two I should say, because it is kind of it skips and it's not really great. So, but anyway, I love and appreciate all of you guys who decided to stick around, or if you even listened to this whole ramble. I really appreciate it. I hope you all are a little better off than I am. So, yeah. I guess I'll catch you all in the next one.